What's happening, good people? It's your man Jay Free. I see. This ain't outside the box today. We just doing a little live on YouTube. Um, uh, those that know me and know those that I'm fooling with, as you see, we got guests on here today. We all up in here chopping it up in the chat room. Um, we deal with white supremacy. We deal with it on the highest levels. We go down the rabbit hole. We don't care what we come across. We look for issues and we look for problems so that we can also look for the solutions to overcome the issues and the problems. I'm a Benton Harbor native. That's home. That's my heart. That's where my blood is. And although I feel disconnected at times because I'm far away and I don't get home like I like to. Um, I don't get to communicate with people probably as often as I like to, as often as they probably think I should. But for those that know me, man, for real, know that it ain't never been nothing from me but love, man. Like really, that's all that's in my heart is love, and especially for home. Like all my life, my whole journey, my whole everything I done did, all my struggle and pain have been out. My dream, even still now, is the hopes that one day to be able to do something, to come back home, to be able to put my city back on the map and to be able to help restore and help rebuild, you know what I'm saying, that pride and that which was lost. And so you out here today. This was the issue that I wasn't even I woke up this morning. I've been gone for a week. I had some issues to deal with, been out of town. And I woke up this morning and I've been just seeing a flood of Coach U, Coach U, Coach U. And I'm like, wow. And I really honestly wasn't going to even, you know, address the issue. I wasn't going to comment on Facebook or none of that, just because, I mean, to me, it was really kind of irrelevant. But then as I started seeing all of the different posts and the different comments, like I saw some people that was still supporting Coach U. I saw some people that was now going against Coach U, and I saw, you know, the difference in both sides. And so my little brother hit me up and we started chopping it up about Coach U. Now we both former football players from Benton Harbor, and so I thought it was interesting as we got to chopping it up, what we had to discuss and what we were talking about in regards to experience. But as well as just experience with white supremacy. So I got my little brother and both my brothers is on here right now, and we gonna get into it a little bit, talking about this issue with Coach U and the white supremacy and so on and so forth. So bruh E, you got what you want to drop something first before we get going on in, because people gonna have to hear this, man.
See, they definitely gonna have to hear. I just want to drop before we get into it that the issue is definitely bigger than a white coach being racist. You know what I'm saying? Or a white coach making some racist comments.
Yeah.
Or his text getting exposed, whatever, when he said it, privacy of his home, or whether he said it and on a podium. It don't matter.
Yeah.
The issue really is a place like Benton Harbor, 96% black.
Yeah.
The mayor, Marcus Senior. Come on now, Coach Muhammad.
What's up, homie?
Come on. We supposed to have our own city. The issue is him not being put in that position to be able to even make those remarks. Him being put in a position to even be a coach.
Thank you.
For our city that has to rely on a white coach, quote unquote, to be our savior. And like we were saying before when we was talking, how I had the mind state, you had the mind state. It's all type of people in Benton Harbor that had the mind state, all thought in the back of their head. If we get a white coach, we'll be all right. All we need is that white coach. All we need is a white coach to come up in. That's the problem.
And see,
can't get into it, bro. Go
and well, as you just hit it, man, that's why it was such an issue to talk about. Now, we former football players from Benton Harbor, and we both went to college, having different success and so on and so forth in our college experience. I know when I was in high school, we didn't win. You know what I'm saying? And when I went to college and I played for Joe Walton and we won. You know what I'm saying? And in the process of winning, I learned the difference was in learning football. You know what I mean? And so for years, you and I would have had this conversation all the time, because when I got to college, real talk, we won, and I should have went pro. And I don't say that because I think I should have went pro. If Joe Walton and Dan Radakovich, for those that understand the football world, if Joe Walton and Dan Radakovich tell you that you can go pro, you should go pro. Bottom line. So those that understand the football world know what I'm talking about. So I learned football, but in the process of learning football, the people that I was around and the level that I gained from learning, like I say, them telling me I should go pro, bruh, I feel like I played with a whole team of goons that should have went pro. DeLeon, Brian, Omar, like, you know what I'm saying? Pookie. I mean, like, the list goes on, bro. We had squad, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know if I would have took my high school squad, bro, and if we would have went to my college, we would have been, man, national champions or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, with the coaching that we got. And so remember, we used to always talk about the difference in being taught football. So what we came to later understand later was we used to say, man, the problem at Benton Harbor is coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got the proper coaching. We ain't got the proper coaching. We ain't got the coaches there to teach football and to help the guys be focused. And so we used to think we saw the problem. But now this Coach U thing came up, and now here Coach U come being the savior. And I can remember you and I having the conversation. When Coach U first came, I didn't care from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because from the beginning, my first thought was, bro, we've been talking about this. We've been saying that Benton Harbor could be better if they had coaching. Why the white guy got to come be the savior? Why we need a white savior to come in and save the poor little Negro kids of Benton Harbor? You know what I'm saying? So I had a problem with it from the beginning. But most people don't look at things from the way that I look at them. When we talk about white supremacy, most people don't understand the system and what it is. So for a moment, white supremacy is not the skinhead with steel toes walking around with swastikas tattooed on his neck, yelling niggers and Jews die. That's not white supremacy. That is the white supremacist mentality, which is developed by the system of white supremacy. White supremacy is a system dynamic. It is a structure. It is a power system that has created a culture in which we now exist. So when we talk about white supremacy, we're talking about the psychological effects that plague the unconscious mind of all of us. So we're talking about how it affects everybody. So the white person who feels privileged is affected by white supremacy. The racist supremacist mentality, like the redneck white boy with the swastikas on his neck, that is a condition that is developed through the system, because the system tells him that white is right and tells him that he's privileged and that he should have everything. However, the system is really not set up for anybody to benefit or profit. Therefore, when the white boy enters into the system and he don't get what he feel like is deserved or owed to him, now he begins to blame the nigger and the Jew and the whoever, because now he's saying, I'm white and I should be having this and having that. And because the nigger got a job, it's, you see, he destroying. And then he's taught all of this foolishness that we come from the mud and God cursed us with black skin, you know. So this is all created and developed. Just like now on reverse, the black person mentality is developed to say that black is whack. And so now we grow up with a subconscious development that tells us that, you know, you not nothing if you black. In fact, the darker you are, the worse you are. Black is ugly, it's unclean, it's filthy. And unconsciously and subconsciously, we develop this thought process in our own mind to where we devalue ourselves. Now, the reason why we wanted to talk about this, Coach U, because we finna show white supremacy and its effects right here in this situation. Now, as we said, we know from experience the talent and ability that has always existed within Benton Harbor. We said that it was due to a lack of coaching. And then there was a white savior that came and he began to lift us up. Now, the problem I had was me not being home and me hearing this as traveling news. So when I hear about my hometown, my football squad finally doing it, I'm getting excited and I'm getting hyped like, yeah. But when I turn on my TV, the only news that I'm seeing is the praise of the coach. See what I'm saying? I'm seeing the praises. See, I'm out of state. So our news, when it came on national news, when they were doing the Today Show or whatever that was, and when we hear about it, all I'm getting is the praise of the white savior that swept in and cleaned up these little poor niggers that couldn't take care of themselves. All the news talked about is how he fed the kids that didn't have nothing to eat, and how he, bought this and he repaired that and fixed up the weight room. And, so I'm on the outside and I'm getting this. And this is what they perpetuating and pushing, is that this white guy came in and cleaned up, when really the talent and ability has always been in our city. If you from Benton Harbor, baby, we come from the mud and we peel it up from the bootstraps, and we can make it anywhere on this planet because that's what we are. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know the strength of ourselves. So in this Coach U situation, the thing is, it's not about what he said, how he said it, whether he was racist. The fact is, he should never have been put in a position to have been played as our savior in the first place, because that's not what we needed. And I'm not racist. People get me twisted. I'm not racist. I just identify white supremacy, and I understand how it operates within our system and our culture. So let me just go back for a minute, because I'm gonna get y'all in. I'm sorry, I'm trying to set it up for people to understand. So now let's go to my ignorant state. So when I was ignorant, when I was in high school, I can remember we had, when Coach Watson, I played for Eddie Watson, and then I was there in '94 when Eddie Watson left and Bobby Howard came my senior year. Now, when Bobby Howard came my senior year, give you an example, he didn't start me like the first game. He didn't start me, you know what I'm saying? Which is foolish. Everybody that know I should, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't start me. But let me show you something. I can remember first got the news, me and a couple of the homies, Rico Wilson, Steve Neal, a couple of the homies. I can remember us being around the baseball field or somewhere like the track working out. And I remember getting the news, Coach Watson ain't gonna be the coach no more. You know what I'm saying? We got a new coach. Out of our own mouths. I don't know if they will admit it. I know. When I say, I'm gonna speak for me, out of our mouths, our anticipation began to grow, and we begin to say, ooh, I hope I get a white coach. I hope I get a white coach. Well, oh yeah, man, we want a white coach. He gonna get us right. Our own mentality said that in order for us to be right and be good, we needed a white coach. Now, this was my ignorant state. So this is what we thought. Now watch this now. So the day came when Bobby Howard showed up as our coach. Now, when Bobby Howard showed up as our coach, our anticipation, we were disappointed. We was like, who is this nigga? He came with the little tight, little shorts on, you know what I'm saying? He was a little weird and a little different. Now, we black, so we taught a certain way, and I'm showing you how this affects our psychology. So we're taught a certain way. Now, we began to look at Coach Howard like, man, who is this dude? Didn't nobody want to listen to him. We thought he was weird and different. So our anticipation was already thrown off whack. Now here he comes trying to teach us a little bit of football and trying to change up the culture of what was necessary. You see what I'm saying? Now, we said we needed a white coach. They gave us a black coach. We didn't respect him. When I say we didn't respect him, we initially got him fired. He only lasted, as far as I know, my senior year. We got him fired. We didn't like I say, he didn't start me. I had my little ego and my attitude, you know what I'm saying? And other players we had, but look, we lost our first game against Detroit, Warren De La Salle. And then we won against St. Joe. And then we blew out Niles. And everybody was like, ooh, they finna do it. And then we didn't win another game for the rest of the season. We went 2-7. We lost. Now, the respect factor. I can remember Coach Howard taking us in to teach us film, but we didn't want to learn film. We wanted to watch the game and talk about how good we did. You see what I'm saying? Even though we didn't do nothing. The respect. I can remember one of the brothers coming to a game, bro, to get on the bus. Now, we still in high school, and this brother got on the bus with a black and mild. Now, I don't care what you do, but we in high school, everybody know a black and mild ain't legal and it ain't supposed to be right. He got on the bus with a black and snapped on Coach Howard like, nigga, I smoke in front of my mama. Who is you? You ain't gonna tell me I can't smoke neither. This was the respect factor that we gave the black coach that came in and tried to change the culture, because our anticipation was we needed a white coach. So in other words, it wasn't that the black coach, it was that we didn't respect the black coach. Go ahead, bro, because I know you had experience just the same.
I had to, man, you already know how it go, man. I had Coach Featherstone. Same story, man, but it ain't the same story. We ain't go 2-7. But we started off great too. First two games, we outscored the people. I think we outscored opponents like 90-20 something. You know what I'm saying? They thought we was gonna do it, but the exact same thing, the respect factor to the coach. Coach Featherstone wasn't a great play caller. He wasn't the greatest coach, but he still tried to teach us football. And just the same thing. We in film, we trying to see how good we did. That's all we doing is looking for the highlight play, looking for the oohs and the eyes. We not really trying to learn the football. We in practice. We just, you know what I'm saying? We lollygagging around. Why? Because we got the talent. You know what I'm saying? And because it's the respect factor just in our mind. We looking at Coach Featherstone like he a square old dude that, oh yeah, you done played college ball, whatever. You a half-ass coach, you know what I'm saying? However we want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? We looking like, oh, this coach on this other coach, the assistant coach, the offense. Coach Hurst supposed to be the head coach. No, we supposed to have Mike as the head coach. No, Coach Jones supposed to be the head coach, man.
No respect.
We worried about these other people just because our respect level for them, instead of just respecting him, this man and his role and what he trying to do for you.
Real talk, man.
And
now
then
look, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Are you good? I already know you was finna get the hit on it, but if that was a white coach, it would have been totally different. It's just the perception. It's just the unconscious mind. When
the respect factor.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what
get a white skin over your own people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It's not
like I said, you had told me earlier that y'all said the same thing when y'all was getting a new coach that we said. We immediately said, I hope I get a white coach. Our expectation and anticipation was that for us to be great, there was a need for us to have a white coach. So when a black coach came, and now this is the thing I want to hit on about the respect. It wasn't that Coach Howard, now that I look back at it, I didn't realize it then because I was ignorant. But now that I can look back on it, it wasn't that Coach Howard wasn't a good coach. I believe we would have won and been very successful had we actually paid attention. But it was the respect factor. Now, Coach Watson, he had money. See what I'm saying? See, we come from the hood mentality. White supremacy have messed up our mind. And so we look to the drug dealer or whoever has money. You see what I'm saying? And we give them respect. So Coach Watson had a pimpish type demeanor to him. He was a player. And so people had a respect for him. Now, what people didn't know was Ruth Ann Watson is our family. That's our blood relative. So we know Coach Watson because that's our family. See, people thought we just played football. This is our blood relative. So the money that he had a respect factor amongst someone, Coach Watt. So the laughing and joking we did with, like you say, Coach Feather or Coach Howard, because of their shorts or because of their character, we looked at them as lames. You see what I'm saying? They was nerd dudes because we from the hood. But Coach Watson had a player demeanor. So we gave Coach Watson the respect. You see what I'm saying? But Coach Watson didn't teach us nothing. We didn't watch film under Coach Watson. We ran the same plays every week under Coach Watson. We didn't learn football under Coach Watson, which is why we didn't win under Coach Watson, but we respected him because he had a player mentality and looked like a pimp, which is what we were drawn to from our systemic programming in the hood. But when the white coach, so our anticipation was we needed a white coach. So when the white coach came, when Coach U came, he didn't do nothing in Ben Harbor. Ben Harbor been had athletes. Ben Harbor been had the ability and been had the potential to be great. It's the subliminal programming that we don't understand. And that's why this comes in, because people want to say, is Coach U a racist? And you got people that want to get behind him and support him because we won. And then you got people that just say, oh, he made some comments. Look, bro, it's the same thing with the Sterling guy from the Los Angeles Clippers when his statements came out. That's not surprising to me. This is a 70-some-odd-year-old man. Of course he's racist. he grew up developed by the system. But that's why I'm saying you have to understand what racism is. White supremacy is not the redneck with the squat stick on his neck. That's not racism. Racism is the mentality that affects us all. It's what allows the black person to watch another black person get shot in front of them and turn around and walk away and do nothing. You see what I'm saying? It's what allows the white person to degrade us and to down us and to belittle us on a continual basis, and us continue to accept it because our programming. But if your brother step on your shoes or look at your girl, you ready to shoot him. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a matter of your ability to defend yourself or your ability to stand up or fight against justice. It's not that. It's the fact that your programming. You still slave mentality to where the white person gains, they automatically they automatically get respect. They automatically garner that because in your subconscious programming, white is right. And this is why we have to understand how white supremacy affects us all. That's why this Coach U thing is a major situation, because people missed it. It's just like I say when it happened with the dude on the Clippers, bro. What he said, when they do it, they don't expect it to get out, but this is their regular conversation. This what he talk. He probably been talking about them niggas from the day he walked in and started coaching. Like I say, I'm in North Carolina, so when it comes on the news, it don't come on talking about the players and how good they are. It just comes on talking about how this white guy came in and saved all these little po nigga boys that couldn't do nothing for themselves. That's all the news says. On the national front, why everybody talking about we on national news? We no, Coach U is on national news. Ben Harbor gets the word, but the word Ben Harbor gets is poor, useless, can't do nothing until white Jesus comes in and saves them. You see what I'm saying? And so I ain't mean to say to Jesus, I'm sorry, but this is what we dealing with, and this is what we up against in our system. And so it's a mentality that we have to learn to develop to understand the rules of white supremacy and the rules of racism. It ain't hate. It's a psychological warfare that we up against. So here this coach is. Now tell me, it was some other stuff you told me too, bro. How did he get paid?
I had read that he got paid through a conglomerate of people, basically, like several corporations. A group of corporations came together and gave him the funds, $60,000.
You see what I'm saying? So now what high school coach getting paid $60,000? See, and y'all think he done something for you?
And hold on, bro. Look, people want to talk about how, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he did this to the weight room. He was doing this. He was giving his staff this type of money. He was fixing up this and that. Man, these people need to learn about money and how money is made and how wealth is gained, man. That's what you call tax write-offs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
this
sir.
Dude came to Benton Harbor, man. You know how much money he done gained, man?
Yes, sir. All of that national publicity, when he get caught on national shows and stuff, they pay him for that, man.
Come on, man. Exactly.
You get paid for that. That's why I say
he's not just showing up there.
See what I'm saying? See, we don't need him to be the savior in Ben Harbor, because Ben Harbor don't need a savior. Exactly. What we need is to understand the psychology of what's going on so that we can begin to change ourselves. And that's why I love my city. That's why I've been spending my whole life trying to accomplish something. Because, see, I want to make money not for me to be rich, because I don't care about money. I real deal want to achieve and accomplish something so I can have enough to come back to Ben Harbor to do what I vision Ben Harbor. Ben Harbor, I love my city, man. We are all black already. We already got the tools necessary to create and build our own. We just don't got the proper psychology to do it.
You got the power to have
steady fighting against each other.
The hold there is so, I'm telling you, man, the psychological hold.
And because I'm not there, people think I don't care. Baby, my whole life I'm spending trying to get back. That's all I care about. That's all I talk about. You see what I'm saying? You know this, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is why this hurts me to see this, because I was hoping one day to be a football coach and be able to come back and help restore the roar to my Tigers, because I know what's necessary. But again, we talked about that respect factor. Like you talked about it with Coach Feather, which is the homie. And I talked about it with Coach Howard, which I had bad blood with him. And I didn't even realize that he actually could have been a benefit. You see what I'm saying? But because of the respect factor, because how I looked at him as a lame and thought, like I say, from the day he first came, I thought we was like, oh, because we just thought we had to have his white coach, our programming. So when Coach U showed up, like we say, he didn't do nothing. He there for his own benefit and game, man. It's a front. Yeah, I'm for the kids. It ain't about that. And people can take it how they want because we won and because the image looks like he cares. This is the system of white supremacy racism. This is what happens all around the country and all around the world. They continue to act like they care about what they have destroyed and torn down. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't Coach, you probably don't even know he racist. Because he probably don't just feel like, oh, I just hate black people. He don't feel that way. But I guarantee you that he feels that he is deserving of a certain privilege because he's white. And I guarantee you that he also has, which he showed in the text, I guarantee you that he also has preconceived notions or prejudgments concerning black people in our environment, assuming how many drugs did he sell to get that. He already see, this is what I mean about white supremacy. It ain't that you got to hate nobody. It's the mentality that is developed. Remember, I talk about perception is everything. How you view a situation affects everything. So when we're dealing with white supremacy, all we are dealing with is the psychology and the development of your perception through your life. From the day you were born, you were perceived into a world that was said white is right. That's what we mean by white supremacist system. That's what it is. Instead of being taught your true heritage and taught truth about who you are, you know what I'm saying? So we can gain power from within. And so we can we're not taught about the king complex. You see what I'm saying? We're taught about the slave complex. And so the slave complex says, I can only get it right if I got white. See what I'm saying? But the king complex understands that as the king, whatever I acquire will only be that which I gain by my own means. See, a king conquers and acquires by gaining on his own. And see, we're not taught that. We taught slave. So we taught, I got to work. I got to be a slave. You see what I'm saying? So this is what his Coach U thing. Like I say, this is minor. This ain't, to me, it was nothing because I already know he was racist. I already know he don't care nothing about us. I knew this. I've been knew this. But now everybody else is shocked and surprised because people really thought that he was there for our betterment and our good. And the remarks he said still don't change the fact that the boys still won. And that don't change none of that. And they don't change the fact that the remarks were heard. All it does is bring to light his feelings. But you ignorant if you didn't know that's how he felt from the beginning.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Just hit it, bro, because it's a bigger issue than just, you know what I'm saying? Don't see what one thing I hate, man. And it's just like with the Black Lives Matter movement, it's just like with the Trayvon Martin hoodies. Yeah. It's just like with all the Can't Breathe t-shirts. Don't try to jump on no bandwagon when something is publicized, man. Yeah. If this is what you feel, you supposed to live this on the daily, man. Yes. It's black power, black love to daily, every day. Yes. It ain't no when something happen, a publicized, something gets on the news, oh, some of his text show up on the news, everybody want to hop on Facebook and post about Coach U being racist now. Man, that don't man, white supremacy rules our mind every day, man.
Every day. That's what we saying.
Some white man richer, ain't you?
That's what we say. Look, this what we
in the morning go make some white man richer anyway.
Richer tomorrow.
To him.
So why you ain't there right now?
He's racist, just a single person. That's not the issue at hand, man. The issue at hand should have never been put in the position anyway to even have those remarks to say.
Real talk. And that's what we talked about when we say ignorance is bliss, man. Ignorance is a choice, man. You know what I'm saying? Notice the usage of the words. We got to understand spelling and language and where words come from. The term ignorance comes from ignore. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance is not the same as being dumb. You see what I'm saying? To be dumb is to be, when you're dumb, it's like you don't have the ability to learn, I guess you would say. Like a dumb person is retarded. You know what I'm saying? They can't learn. Ignorance is to just be unaware. You see what I'm saying? So when you ignorant, That just means you unaware. And so we allow our unawareness to rule us. We like being ignorant. You see what I'm saying? We like to ignore the facts that are right in front of our face. There's certain, like we say, when we talking about this system of white supremacy and how it affects us, we ignore it on an everyday basis and keep going on about our business. We trying to build within a system that we know has been designed to completely annihilate us. Once I find out that you have lied to me, I'm not trying to get close to you and figure out how I can still build with you. I need to separate from you. See, we trying to build with those that have lied to us. Like you said, Coach, you is no different than the Sterling case, man. When that happened with the Clippers and all of that news frenzy went around, I guarantee you, if you could have found every single owner of every sports team were blacks out of commodity, I guarantee you all of them felt the exact same way, man. It ain't nothing new. We need to understand the system, what you just said, bro. The system of white supremacy is around us 24/7, 365. This ain't about no one little text message. It's about the whole. When we understand what we up against and what's really going on, then we'll realize that the problem was not that Coach U made a text, but that the problem was that Coach U was even there and that he was even in the position to have been hailed as the savior of a program that really is above average and should have been a beast for a long time. You know what I'm saying? We have always had the potential and ability, and that's what we talking about. We talking about our own real experiences and our ignorance of white supremacy, even in our days in Benton Harbor, where we cried for a white coach because we thought we needed one, and we overlooked the black coaches. I remember you was telling me earlier, for example, how Coach Feather took y'all to all these different camps and different stuff. Man, Coach Watson ain't do none of that. You see what I'm saying? But we respected Coach Watson because Coach Watson was a player. And see, we from the hood, so that's what we look up to. See, the drug dealer is our hero. The player is our hero. You see what I'm saying? But when Coach Bobby came in with the little tight shorts, or Coach Feather came with the little tight shorts, little college dude, we looking at him as a lame. See what I'm saying? Our priorities and our ideals are backwards because we fall victim to the system and the things that it have taught to us. And this all we saying. We need to understand the issue ain't the text. The issue is why he is even there in the first place. We got enough talent and ability, even that have come up out of Benton Harbor, that can come back and give to Benton Harbor and help resurrect the world. We'll be great forever. But see, we still got the same issues where we still fighting amongst each other. See, that's the thing about our small town. See, popularity is what rules. You understand what I'm saying? So we still follow that. Look up to the player, look up to the pimp. You know what I'm saying? We still follow that. Whoever got money is the man. And then a person like myself, for instance, I'm ignorant because, you know, I ain't got all the money or whatever. So don't nobody want to hear what we talking about. You see what I'm saying? So it's this mentality that we have to get away from. We have to change the culture that white supremacy have created. It's up to us to change the culture. We have to say what's cool. We have to say what's acceptable. We have to say what we will and what we won't do. You see what I'm saying? Now we trying to teach the kids, but then we going out and doing. You see what I'm saying? So it's up to us to change it, man.
Bro,
and this is so yeah, Coach, you is racist. Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just saying, let me hit it just a little bit, go a little bit deeper. See, when it comes to white supremacy and what we got to learn when it comes to sports, it's a game, man. When it comes to sports, look how the NFL and the NBA draft are set up, man. It's set up like what? Man? The slave exchange. Man, sports is nothing but a big slave combine for these white people, man. They out here bidding on heads, getting paid millions of dollars off the heads, off the hard-earned money. Man, come on, man. Blood, sweat, and tears out here on these fields, on these courts.
Real talk, man. Well, I go even deeper with you as you hit that, bro, because you right on. You right there. And that's what we talking about, because I'm going to hit you deeper. I'll go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say it's about they don't care about our lives. And this we ain't nothing but cash.
Commodity.
You know what I'm saying?
We commodity.
Exactly.
We just like the wrestler on Django.
Exactly.
We just like the wrestlers.
Man, we the entertainment, man.
That's what I'm saying. You know exactly. For whatever, and they give you the millions to pacify you, but not just to pacify you, but it also is to occupy you. Because like we say, when we understand what's going on out here in the world and what we really up against, like you say, we both former athletes. That's why we talking about it. And so we understand that it's really just a game. So much of my time was wasted focusing on the game, concerning about the things that I understand to be relevant to life now. You know, back in the days of old, when the kings was when the king would try to when the people were in the midst of uprising, or when the people were talking about, you know, taxation or whatever would be going on, and they was threatening to overthrow the leadership. What the leadership would do was they would throw the ceremony. They would have the arena, you know what I'm saying, where they would do you know, gladiators and stuff like that, and then they would throw the spoiled food to the crowd to appease the people. So they would pacify the people for a time to try to get them to be calm. Well, now in our system, because our manipulation is on a constant basis, now we got gladiators on the regular. We got arena every day. So now we go from basketball to football to baseball. And what happens is now you got a child that's 6, 7 years old, and they spend their whole life focused on trying to play a game, because it's to occupy the mind and keep you away from focusing on these real truths about what's really going on, spirituality and things that's really important in life. So this is the things where the system come in, the racists. And that's why we saying how deep it go down the rabbit hole, you know what I'm saying, when we look at what's really going on and what the implications of something like Coach U and these text messages meant, but how our ignorance and our inability to pay attention to the details is what keeps us in the box ourselves. We hinder to our own selves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. We definitely, all we need to realize that, man, white supremacy has taken over our mind, man. And when it comes to things like sports, that's what we talking about right now. That's our power. That's our most powerful men and most powerful women that we got. You know what I'm saying? In our race.
Yes, sir.
And most of them are dedicated to sports. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
They got
Yes, sir.
all of our savage soldiers is dedicated to,
Occupied.
you know what I'm saying? They occupy. Their mind could be doing. Come
Occupied.
on, man. Forget the money.
Real talk.
Forget the
Yep.
money. You know what I'm saying?
Just like
It's
the
about
Django wrestlers, though. You see what I'm saying? Because we
exactly.
all see what we don't understand, because we are all slaves. You see what I'm saying? We don't understand the different roles. So it's just like the Django wrestlers. The millions of dollars is the illusion of inclusion and the illusion of freedom. So this is why we'll focus on it, because we still ain't understand that money really have no value. You know what I'm saying? So because we still holding value money, as we still holding money as our God, you know what I'm saying? And we still looking at the player and the pimp, you know what I'm saying? As our idols, you know what I'm saying, and our heroes, you know what I'm saying, then this is what we aspire to be. So in our hoods, in our neighborhoods, it still is nobody greater than the pimp, the player, or the athlete. You see what I'm saying? So you either make that's what's looked upon as great. Even a person that succeeds through knowledge per se, you know what I'm saying, they still a lot of times want to carry the image of a pimp or a player, because that's what's acceptable in our hood. You can have a dude that got money and the girl will still say he lame because if he a nerd dude. You see what I'm saying? If he into computers, you know what I'm saying? I know it's changing a little bit, but I'm talking about the overall. So this is really, it's identity crisis still. It still all falls back to identity crisis.
Exactly.
Because I don't know who I am, you know what I'm saying? I'm still searching and looking outwardly for my validation of who I am. And so this is why we allow these things to happen. Like you say, bro, they running us through the sport, through the football combine, just like they used to run the slaves through, you know what I'm saying, before they put them on the chopping block to sell them. And it's the same thing, but we lining up for it because we finna get millions. But we not understanding, I still work for Massa. Ask Mike Vick. Ask some of the other players and some of the situations that they done had. What happened to Ray Rice? All he did, I mean, the situation with his wife, she been forgave him. Why he ain't been back to football yet? Berger got accused of raping two women or something. That joker talking about coming back to win another Super Bowl this year. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it ain't about, and we continue to overlook in the separation of what happens. If Trayvon Martin would have killed George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin would be in jail right now. You see what I'm saying? And we continue to look, we overlook all of the indifferences that occur to us because we unaware of what's really going on in the system. And that's because we still focused on games. Wrong thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Identity crisis, man.
It's definitely our man, bro.
So, you know, I mean, like I say, man, we just wanted to hit on that, man. I hope to bring some light to some people about white supremacy, man, and the effects that it has, and hope we look at some things from a real perspective. And the first thing when I talk about ignorance, and I'm ending, but the first thing is the main thing is we have to be real with ourselves. You see what I'm saying? Above all, we got to look in the mirror. You see what I'm saying? So everything I just said, I know is the truth. It's just a matter of whether people want to accept it or not. It ain't about, see, people can question me, judge me. It ain't about me. What I just said is the truth. And I spoke from experience as well as just actual facts. I talked about our own experience as blacks growing up in the hood, in the psychological program and the white supremacy, and how it had our mind clouded and lost in what our perception was. And we were able to be real with that, and then talk about being in a conscious state of woke and being able to look back and see the difference. So for those that ain't woke, that don't understand, it ain't a matter of what we said was true or not. It's just a matter of whether you accept it. We can use cognitive dissonance all we want. The truth is the truth. We don't need Coach U to be the savior of nothing. We didn't need no white man to be our savior. Our mentality is to think that it is. And it's not a matter of whether Coach U is racist or not, because Coach U is racist. He has to be racist. It's impossible for him not to be, because he's a white man in America. He's 70 some odd years old. I mean, that just is the mentality of what they taught, and you can take it or leave it. You can believe my word for it or not. I guarantee you it was a part of his development. Not that he just hate black people, but it's the fact that he feels privileged above black people and feels that you owe him an amount of respect, because that's who he is. He does not look at you as his equal, and I can guarantee you that fact, and that's the fact. So it ain't, like I say, when we understand the rules of racism and white supremacy and understand what we up against, then we'll begin to look at things from a whole different perspective and understand what we really up against. It's your man J Free IC with your man Pearl Master E and Pearl Master J, baby. We shouting out on you 100.